Hello, everyone. I am so excited today, Tarot Underground. And I am joined by my friends, Althea Grace from Soul Whisperer, Lila from Tapestry of the Unseen, and I am Kim from Abundant Life Tarot. And we've got something exciting for you, a new series that we've been talking about, planning for a while now. Probably since what, January, we've been talking about this. And it's going to be a series where we take on modern day and ancient mysteries. And we're going to use cards. We're going to go underground with it. And we're going to, and so we also invite you to pull cards if you have cards, or ask questions if you want to ask questions. And most importantly, if you're watching the replay, participate there as well as suggest future mysteries you'd like us to explore, because we would love to hear from you. So before we get too far ahead, friends, I am going to do our little intro.
Hey, Ravneet. Thank you. So cool.
Welcome back. We're here.
That was very cool.
Oh, thank you.
Love
Well,
it.
Yeah, love
more
that.
to come,
Love this.
friends. More to come. Winds of Reflection. Hi, welcome. I'm happy you are here. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Christine, hey,
Hi, Christine.
welcome. So, friends, we've
Welcome,
got
everybody. For some reason, I can't chat, so just wanted to let you know.
Oh, did
you
you
can
click
chat.
that? There's at the bottom of the comments, there will be like you want to add, you'll have to
I
sign in as your channel. Did you do that?
I did, but it's for some reason it keeps like looping for me. So I'll just want to say hi to everybody. I can see
Okay.
it,
Oh,
but I just can't
wow.
type
Okay.
it.
Well, no worries. We got each other's backs. So, are you all have anything to add to the little intro before we get into our background information and then the cards?
Yeah, not really. We've been thinking about this for a really long time, and we finally managed to find the time to, you know, that we could all come together because Lila evolved this great idea. And it was so exciting because I've been wanting to like do these kind of things. It's not my normal style. So, yeah, I'm
That's
very much looking forward to it.
Yeah, yeah, me too. Not my normal bag either.
Me too.
I do different types of
It's
mysteries.
not my normal.
Comfort zone. We're exiting the comfort zone, but that's something that we get to do with cards, right?
Hmm.
So, yeah. How
Yes.
about you, Lila?
This is my normal either, although I've always loved like mysterious, like unexplained things. So it's kind of an experiment and it's going to be fun.
I like that.
Fun is the
Definitely an
operative word.
experiment. What did you
Hmm.
say, Althea?
Fun is the operative word.
Yes. And probably all of us have been called to these types of things, mysteries, curses, the paranormal, um, all the things, UFO, like all the things. So this is going to be right up our alley, I think, for our crew, our peeps in our different channels. And
Yeah.
if you all haven't already done so, please, Althea Grace has a wonderful channel. Please subscribe, as well as, and the links are in the description box,
Oh,
as well
cool.
as Lila. Please subscribe to Tapestry of the Unseen, Soul Whisperer. They have great videos. And if you're new to my channel, definitely subscribe here as well. We welcome you. So, yeah, let's get into it. So, we've got a little settle in for a little story time, if you will. And Oh, do we got a story for you? So if you haven't, if you don't know what we're here for, we're talking about the Basano witch vase, or the curse of the Basano vase out of Italy, the 15th century. This is where it
Kind of
starts.
got stuck.
It spans all the way to
You're
the
going
19th.
in and out a bit, Kim.
Uh-oh,
I don't
can you
know.
hear me?
Yeah, but your voice got staticky all of a sudden. I don't know. Maybe it's the curse witch, the witch face.
Could be the
It's
curse.
coming.
Could be the curse. How about now?
That's better. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let me know if it cuts out,
Hmm.
because I don't want y'all to miss anything. And it
Is that
might be my
better?
fan. Do you hear me
Oh,
okay? It might be my
I
fan.
hear you
I
now.
can hear you
Ravneet,
fine right now. Yeah.
Ravneet, is
Okay,
it
I'm gonna
better?
lean in like this. Okay, in a sleepy village near Napoli, sometime in the late 1400s, a young bride prepared for her wedding. Her name is lost to time. We don't know it, but stories call her La Sposa di Basano, the bride of Basano. The gift she received that day was no heirloom or family trinket, but a gleaming silver vase, simple, elegant, and strange in its silence and how it came to be. And some believe it was crafted by a local silversmith, rumored to be the bride's secret lover. Interesting. A man she was forbidden to marry. Others say it arrived anonymously with no card, no blessing, just polished silver and a cold, hollow weight.
On her wedding night, she was found lying on the stone floor, her dress soaked in sweat, her face drained of all color, and her fingers locked around the vase like a final embrace. As she slipped away, she was said to whisper, I will have my revenge.
Mm.
So from that moment on, the vase's legacy began not as a gift, but as a curse.
Mm. So now, a legacy of death, the curse part, right? The vase passed to the next in line, an aunt and a cousin, a distant uncle. But with each new owner came another burial. Some fell to sickness, others to unexplained accidents. One even vanished without a trace, leaving only the vase behind on their bedside table.
Kim, your voice again.
It's, yeah, cutting
Uh-oh.
out, kind of staticky.
Let me re-enter. You all carry on. I'm gonna re-enter the chat. Not the chat,
Okay.
but the video.
Hi, Ravneet. It's so nice to see you. For some reason, I'm not able to chat to type in the chat, but it's really good to see you. Hi, Christine.
That's really weird. I don't know why. Okay, while she's doing that, I'm
I
going
don't know.
to
I thought it
reread
was
the
me,
part.
so I put. Oh, okay. Sounds good. Go on.
The vase passed to the next in line, an aunt, a cousin, a distant uncle. But with each new owner came another burial. Some fell to sickness, others to unexplained accidents. One even vanished without a trace, leaving only the vase behind on their bedside table. She really did go out, didn't she?
She'll be back right now. Oh,
Yes, it's a fascinating story. Okay, here she is.
it is.
So go on with your next part. I reread your voiceover.
Okay. All right. Where are we? Sorry, friends.
The,
You're
Which
on.
part?
the family now terrified.
Okay. Hold on. Here we are. So, can you hear me okay?
So far.
Okay. The family, now terrified, tried to hide it. Some say they locked it away in a stone wall. Others claim it was buried in a monastery's crypt. sealed with holy wax. But as with all forgotten things, it waited to be found. Okay. Okay. No. So,
That's Lila.
Nyla.
Oh, oh, sorry. So in 1988, an unsuspecting man uncovered the vase while cleaning out his grandmother's estate. Inside was a brittle note, yellowed with time. It read, "Beware, this vase brings death."
Thinking it superstition, he sold it at an auction for 4 million lira. The buyer, a local pharmacist, was dead within 3 months. Did she freeze, Kim?
I think she froze for a second.
Oh no.
We'll just wait till she comes back.
I feel like
Mercury
I'm in
retrograde.
suspended animation.
Maybe it's the curse.
I'm telling you.
Doesn't want these things revealed.
Oh, Tarot of the Abyss. I have that one sitting here too in case I need it, Ravneet. Yeah, the drama. This is just increasing the drama. Oh, she had to go out again.
I should come back here. Oh, I love the Tarot of the Abyss. Sometimes those black and white decks can be really great for mystery readings or like
Mm.
unknown stuff. Mhm.
You mean like the horror tarot?
Yes,
Like the horror tarot?
I know.
I love this deck.
Sleeping with the light
Although
on.
I didn't use it for this. Ah,
I don't know, friends. It's not trying to cooperate with me today. I'm not sharing the screen anymore. Hopefully that
oh,
works.
okay.
I'm back.
Um, okay, so we're on the unearthing
So
section, and I
we're on
read,
the next, a 37-year-old surgeon. That's you, Kim.
Hey, I'm here. So a 37-year-old surgeon bought it as a collector's piece, this vase, the Basano vase, right? 2 months
mhm.
later, his heart stopped. No prior illness, no warning signs.
Then came the archaeologist, who reportedly dismissed the warnings as medieval nonsense. He was found
Oh
dead in his study, the vase on his lap.
my. All right. Now the authorities need to intervene, right? So the vase, now widely known as cursed, was no longer accepted by museums, private collectors, or even religious institutions. One family, desperate to be rid of it, threw it out of a window, and it struck a passerby, a police officer, who reportedly collapsed with a seizure hours later. Now, when I did a little research, there was like different conflicting stories about this police officer. Um, but it would make sense. Somebody gets hit in the head from a falling vase that they would fall. But in another story I heard that the officer got hit, he goes up to the stairs, he cites the family and tries to give the vase back to them. And they say, no, we'll take the ticket, but you can have the vase. So that was one of the stories I read. It made me like, I feel him. And so it said that the Italian authorities sealed it inside a lead coffin and buried it in an undisclosed location, rumored to be a remote cemetery under 24-hour surveillance.
But some say that's just a cover story, and the
Mhm.
vase was never buried at all.
Okay. Now let's get into some of these theories and
Is
forbidden
yes.
truths.
Is the spirit of the betrayed bride bound to the silver, endlessly seeking justice for a life stolen from her? Or is it something older at work, an ancient curse predating her entirely?
Wow. Some scholars suggest the silver used to make the vase was stolen from a church reliquary.
Reliquary.
Interesting. I'll have to look that up. Others believe it was smelted during a blood moon ritual and infused with a soul.
And then there are those who claim the Vatican retrieved the vase and placed it in the Archivum Secretum, where objects too dangerous for the public lie hidden in silence.
Wow. All right. Wow.
Hmm.
So it's interesting too, because the pharmacist part in the story, that was like 1988. So we're talking, just so you all know, we're talking a span of centuries. So we're talking from 15th century, which is the 1401 to 1500 period, all the way to like 1990. And that's why I think it's captured people's imaginations. And some people are like, well, what is this? Is this really a curse? Is this not? If it's a curse, was it her doing or was it something more? And so those are some of the questions that was ruminating, like going in my mind about it, you know. And so we have a spread that we did, and we got cards that we pulled. And I'm so interested. I'm going to go ahead and start putting some of the prompts on the screen so we all get a chance to take that prompt on. Okay. So let's do that. What do you all think so far about this story? Have you heard of it before? I've just never heard of it before.
Never heard of it either.
Yeah.
This was new to me too.
Yeah, I hadn't heard of it either. And what is your general feel about curses? Just an aside, what's your general understanding of them? Or do you believe in them even?
Let's just say life and death lies in the power of the tongue. Okay, words are very powerful, and words or thoughts funneled by emotion or intention make things happen. You can say it's superstition or not, but you know, I would never, you know, like you hear those stories about those people who go like somewhere like Haiti or somewhere like that, and they say, I don't believe in that stuff, you know, and the next thing you know, they're walking around looking real weird, you know. So yeah, I don't discount it. We like to, they tell us, oh, that's old wives' tales, or that's just superstition, or that's how they believed in those days. But is it?
Yeah.
Because in these days too, we see a lot of strangeness. So that's
True.
my thought on it. I
True.
you know, we don't have more details, but for me, yeah, just like anybody else that, you know, gets mad and puts what they call a hex and all that on people, you know, because you got the one they want and all of this sort of thing.
Interesting.
So what about you, Lila?
I think I do believe in curses, you know, but I believe that's why we all have to like protect our energy and always have like, you know, an energetic, just, you know, our own ritual in the morning where we protect ourselves, because there are things that somebody can, from envy, that can be placed on you, you know, so you always have to be protected.
We don't hear you, Kim.
I know. My husband was asking, did I need anything from the grocery store? And I said, ice cream.
Oh, that's nice.
You know, the essentials, y'all. The essentials.
I'm telling you.
Yes.
Like, okay.
So,
ice cream is an essential.
Yes. But yeah.
Rodney says, I think intention and focus is powerful, so it's possible. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
I agree, winds of reflection. I do too. Like, I think we all probably, that base level of understanding, like words have power. I think I even made, when I was reading up on this case this week, you know, I wrote, when you believe something so strongly, it becomes your truth. And that really ties into what we're all, I think, what we're picking up on here. So
I believe in something.
I'll just say that. So yeah. So to that end, let's all gather ourselves. If you are a reader, don't be shy. Or if you're an intuitive or you're a medium or channeler, you can definitely put your intuitive hunches in the chat or on the comment section after this video uploads the replay or the live. And we're going to showcase our cards that we got for each prompt. So the first one, oh, look who's here, Jackie. Hi, Jackie.
Hi, Jackie.
Hi, bestie.
Yes. Our friend is here. Wizard, never heard of it. Yeah, I ain't heard of it either. Maybe, maybe it's like a very potent
Obscure.
Italian old
I mean, it is
urban
old.
legend. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
gotta be. Gotta be. It's enduring. An enduring story.
Yes.
So the first question we got was the bride's secret. What was her final thought? And I used the Ferunc's Painter Tarot. This is the tarot deck I use. Oh, dusty. And I got the 5 of Pentacles. Let me see. You can barely see it. This is a different kind of.
Yeah.
Okay. And for me, what I first did was I looked around the room in here and I was like, what's going on? There's a lot of like disarray. There's like stuff on the floor. The shoes are discarded. There's a bottle here. And I mean, we can assume it's like alcohol or something, right? And so for me, it felt like drinking gone wrong. I would even feel like a hopelessness and despair that you get with the 5 of Pentacles. Like familial, like family letdown. Either looking at it like her looking like I'm let down by a family. Could be the family she's marrying into or the family her family of origin. Or, I just kept getting family. You'll see why in a minute as my cards come through, as I show. Because I pre-pulled my cards, by the way, I should mention that.
I did too.
And I think Lila, you did as well.
Yeah, otherwise we'd be here forever, hours.
Sure. Y'all know I use jumping cards, so we would be here forever.
Shuffling.
Like, sorry, y'all, it's nighttime. And I just got to think that she just being despondent. And I couldn't help but wonder about that bottle that I see depicted here. Is there like poison? Poison. Taking in something that caused such turmoil and disarray inside of her. That's what I got. Looking at my notes. And the last thought I wrote, I made notes last night at 2 a.m. She wished for revenge towards I'm picking up family member and revenge. I am picking up revenge from her. So that's what.
Do you want to go next, Lila, or you want me to go?
Sure, I'll go next if you want.
Okay.
So what I got here is, the cups. And for me, this is like her emotions feel very raw and lots kind of like that rawness you feel. And because I also got the struggle oracle card. So, and I got the 3 of cups. Okay. So this is interesting because Kim said that there was another person involved. You just said either like family you got. So I feel like she was struggling with something, like a betrayal, and her emotions were so raw and she was struggling with that and like despair kind of. And I feel like a lot of anger has started to brew, but yeah, definitely like a third person, I think would I get like maybe was involved in this from that. So it could be family, like you said, who knows?
Yes.
Okay.
How about you, Althea?
I think it's family. I think it's somebody very close to her. See, I have just put the whole thing in my mind. So, but I'm going to try to break it down because the cards may or may not make sense. But the first card, I'm using Tarot of the Unexplained.
Nice.
Okay, this is sort of UFO-ish kind of tarot deck. And so the first card for this question I got was the Three of Saucers. Okay. This
Oh,
would be, I forget which planet this is in the
Oh,
background.
is
that's
that
the
cut?
that's
This is
that's the Three of
this is
Cups,
no, this is the
isn't
Three
it?
of Pentacles.
Interesting. Okay, so it's
But
the
it's
three of
still three
pentacles.
though. That's interesting because I got
Yes,
the
that's
Three of
why I was
Cups. Okay.
nodding. And this is about she's, you see how the UFOs are lined up, but this one is not in alignment. Okay, so this is not in alignment. These are in a line here, but this third one is out of sync. This
Yeah,
we know this is about teamwork and working together. So
right.
somehow at this point in her life, we don't know that at this night she was thinking this, but that she was knowing that something wasn't right, something was out of order. And when I pull Mildred to get more clarification, because I pull Mildred on top of all these
I almost
cards,
feel Mildred too.
and I don't never know her last name, but Mildred. She's okay. I'm gonna just say what my friend used to say. She was mad as twin bitches because she must have realized that as she was going out.
Ooh,
Yeah,
Volcano is all about
wow.
anger and eruption, and like so you both said that. You both said, and I definitely think it was somebody, either her family or a close friend,
yeah,
because I get
yeah,
that later.
Mhm.
yeah.
Okay, I don't want to stay longing on this, but that's my.
And that's interesting because one, like in our story, that was the interesting thing about this lover. But I always talk about in my free time reading red herring. I feel like this lover might be a red herring to the story. This potential alleged lover she may have had this life.
Oh, that she may have had.
Yeah.
Oh
Um,
yeah, I think yeah, that's true. I agree with you.
I don't know. Yeah,
Or
that's just a
yeah,
guess.
or somebody, or could be someone that wanted her partner. You know.
True.
Uh,
Mhm.
but anyway, let's see how it develops. Ravni
Yeah.
got the Eight of
Yeah.
Cups.
Yeah. So let me see. Let me make sure I don't miss
No, we're
anything
good right
here.
now.
I felt darkness, like almost disappointment intuitively, and that's with that Eight of Cups. That's right. Yes, yes, yes. Disappointment,
Hmm.
darkness. Oh, and that transition point with
Yeah.
the eight, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Oof.
An Eight of Cups. Who was walking away? That's the question I would ask.
Yeah. Who is walking away if she's perishing? And it seems almost, it feels like not
Mhm.
like her death was prolonged, protracted. It wasn't
Hmm.
quick. It was long and protracted and very painful with that
Like
eight.
somebody that when they poison you little by little, put the
Yeah.
arsenic in your tea every day or something.
Yeah. And it was painful. And then she gets that intuitive knowing at the very end. And she's like, and this is when she utters her words, right?
Get you. I'll get my revenge.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Ooh, I got chills. I got chills.
Wow.
Moments of reflection. Yeah. So I don't know. And I'll share with my oracle card. I'm going to go through all of my tarot for each of our prompts, and then the oracle cards is then what really illuminated for me. Like, okay, this is what I really think going on with the whole situation, not just the bride, but then the curse as it carries through the rest of the centuries, if you will, the century old situation. Are we ready to go to the next prompt?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Number 2, the first death. How did it begin? How did it begin? Now,
That's
I
interesting.
wasn't quite sure of how to approach this, and it wasn't until probably after I was done, but I got the Knight of Swords
Hmm.
and sharp words, hot tempers, and I feel like at the hands of probably a young man. Inferiority complex comes to mind, impulsiveness, this impulsive person. Um, and at first I was like, I
I
couldn't
can
really.
barely hear you, Kim.
Can you hear me?
Oh, now I can hear you better.
Okay, maybe because I was moved away from the mic. But I didn't know how to interpret the Knight of Swords, to be honest. Like I was like, just that the movement, and then it'll be the next card that comes, the next prompt that helped me kind of understand this a little better. But could be over a man, and it could be also a man at the behest of a man who ultimately is making this happen. The sense of betrayal, the sense of, I don't know. Yeah, you all let me know what you think.
I misread that question. So that's funny because I answered it according to the way I read it. And I
Yeah.
didn't even see the first death. I just read, how did it begin?
Yeah, that's okay.
So I got the Eight of Cups. So something was kind of abandoned, like a betrayal. I got something was left, either hidden, entombed, preserved. And, just I got the Seven of Wands. So there was a betrayal. Someone, the first death began with like betrayal. Someone turned their back on something that mattered, while preserving like secrets, the Frozen card. So that should have been an Earth. So I feel like it was no accident. And this card is like, it was cunning. It was thought out with the Seven of Swords. So calculated. That's what I got for that one.
Well, I was just thinking this question applied to her, and I didn't even see like the first death after. She was the first death as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, no.
But anyway.
Okay. But this could help, with us understanding too.
Yeah, talking through it. So I got the Two of Ghosts. And this is the equivalent of the Two of Swords.
Okay.
Somebody was unsure, but they made a decision. And what they had to do, clarified by Mildred, was research. And they did a lot of that research, okay, in order to figure out how to do the deed. That's, with the vase, I don't know if like maybe you touch the vase and some, because the metals, they can be like chemicalized or whatever. You touch the vase and maybe you got poison, because we're still thinking about the vase, or at least I am. So they did some research as to how to carry this thing off. They weren't certain about doing it. There was some indecisiveness, but finally they did make that decision clearly because she died. So that's what I got.
Yeah. Yeah. And at first,
Robney got Two of Swords. I don't know.
Oh, let's see.
Two of Swords.
Let's see. Wednesday reflection. I got the Three of Swords. I end up later getting that one. Spoiler alert for what she was running away from. What she was running away from. Okay. That's gonna go nicely.
I don't have that question.
Why no, it's okay. I think she was saying like her own,
her Eight of Cups. Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, I got
what she was running away from. And that makes sense. Ooh, when's the reflection? Okay, I don't want to get ahead of myself. But
now I want to say it.
Yeah. Now I'm see. Yeah, well, she was running away from it. And you actually, with you saying that with your cards, clarify something about the family situation for me. I couldn't tell if it's the family of origin or the family she's marrying into. But now I feel like you gave me the answers. It's a strong possibility of family of origin. But we'll just I'll just stop there. And she got the Two of Swords, and you both got the Two of Swords. Hey, love the deck of
Hey,
Explain
Hi.
Sequoia.
hi,
Hi,
beautiful.
and how love that deck, Tarot of the Unexplained, and how y'all incorporate tarot with this story. Oh, you.
Thank you. That's so
Thank you.
nice.
Yes, so we appreciate you being
That's
here.
my girl.
Hey, hey.
Um, yeah,
Okay.
well, it's nice
I got an
because
ally.
it's kind of
Yeah.
a collective building because how do we know the 15th century? They had only so much research, so we have to tap into the unknown,
Right.
and this helps us build the story or understand a possible story for how
True.
this happened to her.
That's
So I
true.
think this is so great.
I do too. Yeah. How will we
It's
ever
like
know?
let's find out more and more. So I want to
Yeah, we
do.
do. It's like unlocking and peeling back a little bit more.
Mhm.
The next one, the bloodline fear. Did the family know more? I got,
Yes, they did.
yeah, Knight of Pentacles. So when I looked at the Knight of Swords and then the Knight of Pentacles, the Knight of Pentacles for me is an affirmative card of yes. You can assign yes, no, maybe, to your cards. And so this is a yes, a very strong yes. Her family knew. Her family knew. And they knew more. And it's almost like you see how this person is looking behind, like they're
Hmm.
like looking like this.
Hmm.
Like
Hmm.
maybe they were going to be left behind, or maybe this marriage was problematic for the family, or maybe they didn't like who she's marrying to, and they had, but they definitely had knowledge, and they had a vested interest to protect the story. So this curse also feels also a little bit calculated in how it protects the family, in the sense of you don't really ask much more questions after that. It's a curse. The person was never prosecuted. I don't even know how you would do in the 15th century in Italy. You don't know if they have a judicial system or anything. Nobody was, um, assigned guilt. So it just feels a little packed. But I got a strong yes with the Knight of Pentacles, and an invested interest, monetary or something of value interest in knowing more and keeping it in the family. And then something about the two knights together, I'm still sitting with, trying to explore that. Here's the Knight of Swords.
I like those cards.
Thank you. They're a little different deck. That's for sure.
Hey, Betty Boop.
Betty Boop.
Use yours. Squeaky.
So what
Boop,
about
boop,
you
boop,
all?
boop.
What did you get for the bloodline fear? Did the
So,
family know more?
so what I got is the King of Swords. So, like, I feel like this is giving me
Ooh,
that
I got
it's the
him.
family new, and like this could be like the patriarch, the family patriarch, like a man, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels like they saw the signs, but it was unavoidable. Um, and I feel I got the Eight of Swords, so it was just like they couldn't. It was
Oh.
unavoidable, and the curse. The curse took over, so they could have started it, and then it just got out of hand. It got like the curse took over, and
Mm.
it got out of control or something. That's what I'm getting, but they couldn't contain it. I don't know.
Mm. Okay.
Okay. Well, like I said, we're building this storyline. I got I got the Ten of Saucers. Okay, more spaceships. I got the Ten of Saucers. This would be the Ten of Pentacles.
Mm.
This told me that this is all about some kind of inheritance and
Mm-hmm.
wealth, which could be
Oh,
from either side, because I have a feeling these were rich people. Somebody sent a silver vase very plain, but those things were expensive.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
this tin of saucers, and I forgot to figure out what the planets, because each has the constellation in the background, or if it's Saturn or what it is. But anyway, this said to me that the
Ooh.
part of the motivation, at least somebody in the family knew, and it was related to their legacy. It was related to their what they had, the inheritance. Maybe she was going to get an inheritance. Maybe that was going to take away from someone else's inheritance.
Mm.
Um, and on top of it, Mildred said factory. And so for me, that said they worked, they were working really hard on this whole concept. It was very crucial to them because of maybe how hard they had worked to build this wealth, or maybe how hard they were working to keep her from this wealth.
Yeah.
Something about the legacy and the wealth means to me that the family knows, because they all had something to, this is the community too, they all
Mhm.
had something to lose or gain, depending on
Yeah.
which side of the family, her
Right.
family or his family. So yeah, that would be my answers. They knew more. It's funny, I didn't
Mhm.
read any of the first part, the bloodline fear. I didn't read any of those. I just read where the question mark was.
No,
Okay.
that's okay. That's all right. Your eyes went where they were intuitively supposed to go. How about that?
I guess. Yeah.
How about that? And let's see. Hey, hey, hey. I got the high priestess down. Ooh, I'm curious to see your take on the high priestess. When's the reflection?
Keep reading. She wrote
Mm-mm-mm.
more.
Let's see. Let's see. Feels like fam, especially women, absolutely knew more and guarded those secrets. You know, it's funny. When I did like a pre-reading, like I'm like, okay, are we really dealing? What are we dealing with here, spirit? With this whole time, give it to me raw, give it to me straight. And so I got the high priestess, and I was like, well, that's not really giving it to me, straight. But it's so interesting that you got the high priestess, and I thought too, like, the women holding women family members, holder of the secrets, holder of the mysteries of this whole thing, and mystical powers and whatnot. That's so interesting. That was my pre. Sometimes I'll pull a card. It could be a client reading. Not every time either. Sometimes I'll just pull a card to get a pulse on the situation. And so that was interesting that you got the high priestess to this, and that was my pre card syndrome. Like, wow, wowzers. We'll see how that unfolds. Number 4, the
Mm,
warning ignored. What signs were missed? What
mm.
missed? So I got the Wheel of Fortune.
I got that in here too somewhere.
This is an interesting Wheel of Fortune because there's even like a little skeleton here. It almost feels like this image feels like 15th century. I don't know. It's giving me that. Um, what were the signs that were missed? I put the changes in the person who took her life, who like there was like marked. And when you got the Eight of Swords, Lila, I started to think about an unraveling, mental unraveling over the course of months with the
Mm.
timing of, I associate the swords with the timing of months, like an unraveling. And like other family members could have, they could have been like, you know what, she's just going to marry to this person. It is what it is. We'll see where the chips may fall. But somebody was very vocal about, no, 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 no. We can't have this. No, no, no. And it was just kept on going and going. And we got to the night or the day of the wedding. That's the ending, right? That's the Wheel of Fortune is about to end. It's number 10. And then a new beginning, there was like, oh no, we got to put an end to this. And so the signs that were missed, I see the changes in this person who ultimately took her life, like the mental processes, like they were like losing grip on reality situation.
Mm.
I wrote the wedding meant like the wedding meant a loss of status. I wrote this last night, and mind you, it was 2 a.m. So, and my handwriting is chicken scratch at that time, apparently, and also a shame to the family, maybe the spouse.
Hmm.
Something about this marriage was a big problem. Loss of status. It just wasn't. I don't know, but
Yeah.
yeah, the Wheel of Fortune is what I got.
Wow, those cards. Stunning.
Yeah. Stunning cards.
Yours as
Like,
well.
So I got the unaware of surroundings. I feel like this is saying like that
Mm.
even though the signs were there loud, they were kind of just going about their whatever usual, and they weren't like recognizing them. And then I got the ego card. So like somebody who like kind of when their mind is unraveling because of they're so obsessed with power, maybe, or personal gain or something. Um, and so they were, and I got this card, which is missing, searching. I feel like they were there was shifts, spiritual shifts or energy, and they were just everything was those were missed of what was happening. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what I got for them before.
mm.
Like their
Okay.
ego blinded them. Oh, go ahead.
No, no. You finished?
Yes, I'm done.
Okay. So I got the Four of Knockers. And I think knockers, that's the old fashioned, like from the 30s and 40s words for boobies,
Yeah.
knockers. She's got a pair of knockers on her. But
Yeah.
anyway, this means the
That's
Four of
funny.
Wands. Okay.
Huh.
Said to me that, yes, what was missed was that, well, everybody was mirth making and doing all that. Somebody was not happy. Okay. Because this is a time for celebration. So if we're missing it, then somebody's not, you can discern that they're not happy. And Mildred clarified for me with moth. Moth is about transformation, but also it said something
Mm.
about somebody um, clinging to something. Let me see if I can
Mm.
find it.
Like
Yes,
a moth
somebody
to a flame.
hopelessly attracted to something.
Mm-hmm.
This was the first sign to me that this was somebody very close to her who
Mm-hmm.
was not sharing her joy and who was
Mm.
not, now, who were, and we're assuming because this was one of the gifts that arrived at some point. However they did weddings then, who knows? Like now you send the gifts ahead or they bring them at the day.
Oh,
But at
true.
any rate, this was somebody who should have been happy. This is also like ceremonies, weddings, that kind of thing. And they were hopelessly attached to, and this is the first sign that told me this was somebody close to her, either coveting her man or coveting her wealth, one of
Yeah.
those kinds of things. And that this was, should have been a transformative affair, but uh, they did not have any joy down in their soul for her, So,
Mm-hmm.
and it says it also represents, the moth also represents a clingy person. So I just have a
Oh,
feeling this was like somebody was up on close to her, but they were a false friend. You know how you get that fake friend card and all that, something like that, or a fake
Yeah.
close associate. It was not, that's what was missed. Maybe they didn't really realize who the person was because they missed the sign, the fact that this person was not in the celebratory mood, or maybe they all weren't in the celebratory mood. We
mm-hmm.
don't have so many details, but there was a lack of mirth.
Yeah, that makes sense. And even with the curse as
Hmm.
as it moved through generations, I think like
Hmm.
there's something about each of the persons who was affected. Like there's something in their circle that may be related to the curse, may not be, but it was like their time is what the Wheel of Fortune is telling me. It's not always curse related, is what I got with the Wheel of Fortune. Yes, I do think that there is some element, and we'll get more into it in the next prompt.
Yeah,
But I
the next.
also got with the Wheel of Fortune, like it was sometimes just these people's time, if that makes any sense. Like
Yes, that does make
the
sense.
wheels of
Destiny.
time, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And but it's all a part of the lore, the story, and it wrapped and folded into that story, the urban legend, if you will. So some
Mm-hmm.
people may have been affected by the curse, and some weren't. It was just their natural time to go, even if it's tragic or like or mysterious.
And
So
sometimes the story is better than the reality. You
true,
know, you
very
want to,
true,
Yeah.
you want to. What did my mother's put a little, icing on it, put a little sugar in it,
for
or
sure.
something.
Yeah, and then overall it just embellishes and grows and grows. And then when's the reflection put? Feels like family, especially women, is absolutely knew more and guarded those secrets. This is so much fun. Interesting, beautiful deck. Thank you. If you're talking
What is
about
that deck? Yeah, she was.
the Ferenc Pinter, it's
Oh,
a
for
low
rank. Yeah.
tarot deck.
I could use that. I have
I
that.
don't know, and it could be also tarot decks. All of it. Like we're using some pretty
No, I
decks.
like that deck.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I like it too. It's interesting. It gets me to thinking outside the box with the meanings. And it's even got a crow or maybe a raven about to poke out this guy's eyes. Anyways, I got the Eight of Wands. So family moved too quickly, and Page of Wands. So she may have sensed something was wrong. She may have sensed. That's a good point. That's a very good point. That it was like she may have missed
Yeah.
some signs. Who is the most important person to have noticed the signs? Well, it was probably her. And she missed them or ignored them. Um, yeah, it was interesting what you said for
Yeah.
sure. For sure.
Hmm.
Yeah. It's just like, I don't know. Oh, thank you. Yes. It's a how interestingly enough, the artist, I think he is not Italian, but the company that publishes it is an Italian company. So
Oh,
I just now
they,
thought about that. I'm like, why am I called to use this deck? I even pulled out different decks in preparation, like which one am I going to use? And then I did this thing where I pulled, or I said, okay, whichever deck gives me the highest card, then I'll go with it. And time, I did it twice. And this deck came up. I was with the Bohemian Gothic Tarot,
Hmm.
and there was one other. I forgot. There was another tarot that's on my mind. All right, so let's move on. And the pup is absolutely the pup is absolutely cute. Let's see.
Oh, thank you.
Now let's go to our next question.
we,
Number 5, the
yeah.
curse's true nature. Now this is where we get into the meat of
Ah,
things. The spirit, is it spirit based, this nature? Is it a spell or is it malice? Okay. I got the 3 of swords. Now, this is a very interesting depiction of the 3 of swords. It shows a head on the platter. You can barely see it. There's a head,
Ooh.
someone's
ooh,
head on the platter. This man of death. There's a guy crouching down here and a woman, shadowy figure here.
mm-hmm.
I got malice or betrayal with the 3 of swords. Righting a wrong, a perceived wrong, righting a perceived wrong, um, inflicting pain, obviously, someone your head is cut off, um, a corruption that has been left to fester, corruption. But ultimately, for me, I got malice. I'll be curious to hear what you all got as well. Malice. But malice, or like what this
Malice.
circles back to the very beginning of what we were talking about, words have power, thoughts have power. That could, and generational curses, we've heard that term all the time. A lot of times we look at it as a psychological thing, but No, it could be.
Mm-hmm.
So I got the Three of Swords, is what I got. What did you all get?
Lila.
So I got this card, which I feel is actually showing.
Say
I feel
again,
like
we don't
that's the
hear
curse.
you see it.
Oh, sorry.
What is the
I said
card?
I got this card. So this card is put in a room or place. But what I see here is I feel like I see the actual curse. I feel like it's
Ooh.
growing and it's like it's kind of like it's become a living presence, feeding on like energy, and it feels like it's what I get is it's like either this is a queen of wands, so like kind of like
Okay.
it's getting its power like maybe from like a woman who's been scorned or something, somebody who's been wronged and is
Mm.
transformed into something darker. So because I got the demonic, what is it called, oh, evil demonic. So I feel like it's just been growing and feeding off of that energy, and that's what I got, and it's
Wow.
become its own
Wow.
entity.
Ooh. I love
Ooh.
that. Yeah.
I know. So
It's funny because I read all three of those as one thing. And
Okay.
I captured the energy or what I think, not necessarily saying it's this, and the other. It's all of the above, is what I would say. And the cards
Mm.
that I have for that are the Three of Portals. I love this card. They look like eggs or
I
little
love that
sperms
card
with
too.
the formulate for the baby being, but But anyway, yeah, my mind goes different places. This is the Three of Cups. So this said to me that this was done by somebody who was close to her, was, uh, friendship, so to speak, somebody who was malintentioned, but was presenting, like I say, we couldn't tell here with the Four of Wands that they were not appearing as they should. Mirth make they weren't. So it was like a false friend or somebody, a false sister, or whatever, somebody close to her who was, there should have been happiness, but that wasn't really going on. And the energy of Mildred clarified that for me with house, which suggests somebody in the family, somebody close by, some kind of uh, mm, personal to her. So I think it was uh, a malintentioned, the whole thing comes from a malintentioned, um, what's the word? The I word? Intention. Malintentioned idea that, like the spirit of that energy cast its own spell. It was not for good, it was malice. And this was done by somebody who, as far as she knows, was supposed to be somebody close to her, somebody, you can trust and love and all of this. So that was the feeling that I got from that.
Wow. Wow. I like that. I like that it could be all of the above, right? And I see that we've got themes that we're picking up on here.
Oh.
Close, like someone in her close circle, right? Clingy, as you pointed out with that, the moth card. Um,
Mm.
so that's interesting to me. Like,
I mean,
I
I can
have,
tell you the whole picture that came to me when I have to looked at these cards and made my interpretation of what it is. But we're going in, card by card, so it's
mhm.
like I'm trying to, you got
Yeah.
to look yourself. How did I get to this
Yeah,
conclusion?
I mean, I did too. I got my own like the picture that's
Right.
painted,
Yeah.
and I'm like,
Right.
but when I'm looking at the individual cards, I'm like, how did I arrive to that? But that
But
it'd
you
be like
did.
that.
We
So
did.
yeah.
And
So this
Rodney,
is, let's see what we got in the
very
chat.
interesting, Lila.
Yeah, it's very interesting. And then winds of,
That's Rob Neat.
let's see, Let me move this person out of
Yeah,
here.
please take the asshole out. It's like, oh,
The official ambassador of the mulatto race. Okay, you're a weirdo.
yeah.
How about I go get mental help? Like,
Yeah,
anyways, like,
yeah.
I got 9 of Pentacles and reverse Page of Pentacles. Ooh, ooh, ooh. When family is involved, to me, it feels like a calculated sacrifice with like a beautiful cage. Oh, I'm
Ooh.
curious to
Wow.
know too. When's the
Yeah.
reflection? What deck did you use? I'm always here
She
for.
said earlier, but I
She
can't.
did.
I
Okay,
know, me
I'm gonna
too.
go back.
I know.
I'm
I'm
gonna
like,
go
oh,
back
I
up and
don't
see
know.
because I'm like, ooh, I love your interpretation. When family's
Yeah.
involved, to me, it's like a calculated sacrifice, the worst betrayal too,
Tarot
right?
of the Abyss.
Yeah. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Maybe a spell meant for healing. Inheritance turn ugly. Yes.
Mm.
Oh,
Ooh.
yes.
I could see
Mhm.
that. Tarot of the
Wow.
Abyss. Okay, I could see that. All right. Well, that makes sense to me. Okay. Next up, number 6. We're making our way through. We've got 6, 7, 8. So number 6 is the guardian. Is someone or something protecting it now? And I got the 6 of Cups. It shows a little, this is kind of hard to see. There's a figure running away, and then there's this little watchful little boy, blonde haired boy sitting here. And
Hmm.
to me, when I saw it, is it being protected now? Yeah, but it's kind of elusive. It is somewhat protected,
Mm-hmm.
and it is for now not an issue for the Italian folk. Y'all
Yeah.
keep that over there.
Yeah, I couldn't hardly. This was a hard one to crack to me in terms of, you know,
Me too. I struggle with this question.
yeah, the question. Hi, Jonathan.
Hey,
You
Jonathan.
Um,
know, I felt like it was I for me it came what I got. Well, wait, have you given yours, Kim? Go ahead and give your
yeah, she did.
interpretation.
Yes, I did.
She did.
I
Okay.
pulled a card from the Enigma, and I'm while you're discussing, I'm going to look it up because it's got little key meanings. But I got death because
Okay.
I'm just trying to better understand my 6 of
Ooh.
Cups. It's a yes card, but I felt like it's elusive.
Mhm.
This it's protected. Someone maybe not well equipped. Really, like you would think, oh, the church or wherever it's buried or wherever it's at, like they should be the ones. But I feel
Yeah.
like they may not be equipped
Mhm.
to manage it and banish it once and for all. And you go ahead. I'm gonna look up something.
Delilah?
So what I got is I got. Can you hear me? Oh,
Mhm.
Yeah.
I got the 9 of coins, 9 of pentacles,
Mm.
and I got the affluent wealth,
Hmm.
upper class,
Mhm.
and I got the lovers card. So I feel like this
Ooh.
is kind of like, yes, it's being protected, I feel. And I feel like it's not by a priest, but by a collector, like a wealthy collector, who is like maybe karmically connected to the original story. Um, but he may know, he may not know, about of the curse, but it seems though that he's like, I feel like he holds it and is just fascinated, and there could be maybe ancestral debt involved, who knows, but he's like unwilling to let it go. I don't know, but somebody is definitely somebody, that's what I got, somebody wealthy is a collector, is protecting it.
That makes sense. That goes
Okay.
with the sense of someone's got it or protecting it or away from the rest of us, but I don't know if
Mhm.
they are fully equipped to
Mm.
manage it, if that
Yes,
makes any
yes,
sense. Yeah.
yes.
For lack of a better way of explaining it.
Well,
Um, Go
This
ahead.
one for me and these last three cards are very like ethereal to me. The answers to them to me are like they're not. So what I got is the skeptic of portals. Okay. The skeptic. And so she would be the equivalent of the king of cups. And I was like, I didn't know how to make sense. I didn't know how to make sense of this, but it's more like, it's just like, because they said they buried it under cemetery, under the ground, or whatever that story was. Or maybe they didn't. But when I clarified with the wheel, Mildred, it said to me kind of like this something, it goes on in perpetuity. It's like whether it's a spirit or a spell or someone put that intention out there, or actually there was even a vase, that it sort of like survives in the, and that's what my next two cards say. It survives in the mythology, in the folklore. It survives in the, so it's not exactly a person, or if there is a person watching over it, it's like, I see the skeptic of portals like a professor, or somebody like a museum, or somebody who would have gotten it like, an anthropologist, but they don't really believe it. Do you know what I mean? They're a skeptic. But
Yes,
so
that
so it was
totally
kind of
makes
I
sense.
have to admit, it was a hard question for me to understand. Not the question, the answer.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And when I did the last two, it made more sense to me to think of it as something that just sort of, you know, we won't get the real answer, if that makes any sense, about this case, about about this. I'll just wait until my the rest of my cards, because maybe. So yeah,
Rewind.
that's my answer for what it's worth.
Yeah. I pulled
Yeah.
some
You
additional
know,
cards
you said you
today. Oh,
got the King
oh,
of
go ahead.
Cups, right? Because I feel like
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
you said the King of Cups. You said something that went with collector, with what I got. Some, and a King of
Hmm.
Cups. When I
Oh,
said that
yeah,
he's
Like a professor,
fascinated with,
like the
yeah, and the King of
anthropologist, when
Cups
they go and they
emotionally, maybe
dig
he's a,
up.
yes, attached. Yeah.
It could be. It could be. I admit to not like. I just I got stuck there somehow.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it could very well be an actual being that, like, and if it would make sense to me, like a museum keeper or a professor who was an anthropologist. They go and they dig up the artifacts and all of
Mm-hmm.
that, and could have discovered it and has it, but doesn't really, because he's a skeptic, doesn't
Right.
really believe that it has any real, like, spiritual or spell
True.
value, but maybe it's some value to, those people that go and they say, oh, they have spoons. These are the rudimentary spoons they use. And they use this also for carving the ears of the buffalo wings or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's buffalo wings, buffalo
I love
horns.
Buffalo. But I know you.
So it's somebody who doesn't believe in the spells and curses,
Right.
but might have it like as an artifact,
Right.
you know.
And so it doesn't have
That's
that same power.
Yeah, but
That same
it's sort of
power.
detached. But then again, we said it came. This was buried for 300 years or 400 years, and then we found it in 1988 or whatever
Mm-hmm.
it was. So it could be something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I pulled to it, like, just to help with my understanding too. I got the death card, um, and then I got atonement
Ooh, look at
for
those
these cards.
swords.
So the death card says this cycles back to what you were saying, Althea, about, this is just what it is. It's necessary end, starting over, moving beyond, ultimate authority. And then it says here with the atonement card, accepting the full burden of responsibility, the fair as well as the unfair, with no discount. Um, it says accepting pain is a way to survive the pain. Not all things burn, but some should. And it's a curious thing that they never destroyed it. Like, But then again, it's like, well, it will endure. It's not even so much now about, for me, about this vase as it is this enduring words, curse. It's beyond. Like it could attach itself to something else. You know what I'm saying? Because at first I'm like, well, why don't you just break it and like crumble it into a gazillion pieces or bury it? Like once you make it into a fine little powder, why don't you?
Don't
Oh, I
forget the
like
power
that
of superstition also,
Right.
and especially
because
in
I
those days
got
when they
that.
didn't have a
Yeah.
lot of answers, to things like
Mhm.
we didn't know early medical stuff and stuff, and now we have
True.
all this advanced. In those days, they
True.
probably had no way of explaining it,
Hmm.
and so they were afraid of it. I would be, oh, this man got the vase and then he died in 2 months. And then this one got the vase and he died 2 weeks later.
True.
That's like, ooh, I don't want to touch that vase. You
And
know,
if we
so
think about it
But
in the time period of the, like people die easily.
yeah,
If you
in those
think about
days,
it, like I
disease.
mean, the life
but
expectancy wasn't very long.
I
Go
got
ahead,
though
Light.
that I got that the curse was becoming its own entity because of
Yes, you
all that
did.
energy that was.
Oh,
So
that's how mine
when you
concludes.
said yeah that it didn't matter if they would have destroyed it because it was kind of it could like you said it could attach it to itself to anything. So that's
Hmm.
interesting.
That is
Yeah.
interesting. That's interesting. It helps me to understand. So it's funny how our answers to question number 6 kind of come full circle again. Like it's
Yeah.
probably someone who it doesn't really put much stock
This is
into
also
it.
the meaning of coming full circle. Oh
Yep,
yeah.
becoming.
Yeah.
Oh
Oh
gosh. Okay,
yes. Hmm.
good. Keep getting good. It's hot as hell out here today.
This is
But
so interesting,
it is. It really is. I'm curious
Yes.
to see what the chat
Hmm.
is saying. Hey, Jonathan, welcome. See you coming in here. And then when's the reflection by cards? Look at the emoji. Right there. I'm telling you, wins. You and I have a feeling once we do our conclusion statements, you and I are going to be, I guess, maybe quite similar. Yeah, quite
Lila,
similar.
quite similar to
Jonathan
mine.
says, I got the 2 of Cups from the Tarot of Echoes. Lovely deck, by the way.
Ooh, I don't know
It's
that
the
deck.
skeleton key with the ethereal lovers floating over it.
Ooh.
Would you take it as a matter of the heart, a romantic little coupling situation, Jonathan? And Winds of Reflection says, I got the 7 of Swords. So a thief like energy, or maybe someone silently
Oh.
studying this, and the 2 of Wands. So they are waiting for their next heir. Ooh,
Ooh.
goosebumps, man.
Well, they definitely studied it.
Yeah. Ooh. To me, it feels like it's a very archetypal story, Althea. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
is.
Very interesting. Like the conclusion. Like, because we want to believe, I think we want to believe in the curses and the myths, the stories from the past, that they really were true because we just part of us likes that. Just like people like Halloween.
Yeah, yeah. We
Tag.
like to be a little
Just
scared.
like people like Halloween or they like ghost stories and things. We like those old stories because
Oh
they're
yeah.
over there,
I
you know?
love. Yeah, right.
Okay. Number
Wow, we're moving along. This is interesting.
2 more cards.
2 more. Number 7, containment or unleashing. Is the curse really buried? Is the curse really buried? Now I got the Queen of Pentacles,
Hmm.
and in my modern day tarot interpretations, it would be yes, it is buried. The Queen of Pentacles representing Earth, the Earth element. So I can naturally think about something being buried and something being, for now, successfully buried with the Queen. Um, but when I think back to that 6 of Cups, it still feels a little precarious. It still feels a little shaky. But I'm getting a sense this card is just plainly speaking to me. Oh yeah, it's contained. It's contained. How about you all? I'm gonna pull some additional cards.
And what
What
about
about
you,
you?
So
Lila?
what I got was the 7 of Wands and the mental health oracle card,
Ooh.
and judgment. So, kind of what I got here is that, yes, right, it is buried and it seems to have a caretaker. But I believe that the energy of that curse is actually getting to the caretaker and there's cracks. So I feel like the curse is starting to awaken, to come out again. And that's what I got from the cards.
Interesting.
That is interesting.
Mm.
That
Okay,
goes on my fated to suffer card.
and I would say, based on the card I got, the Loch Ness monster, I would say it's not really buried. Not really. No, okay, now if I go into my intellect, I'll say it's because words are things and it's an egregore and it's out there. Okay. But this is temperance. And temperance says to me, could be not. So, of course, I had to get Mildred to clarify, and I got the star. And my understanding of this card would say that whenever, and this is where the lore comes in for me, whenever the inspiration strikes, okay, because this is all about like inspiration, right? This star energy. Whenever the inspiration, right, it's comes out again. It comes out of the ocean, because this is the Loch Ness monster in the sea or wherever that water is. So whenever
You
it
know
wants to
what?
be
Oh, go ahead.
revived, there's an inspiration because my last card really just says people keep it going more or less, but I'll get there. So for me, yeah, it's maybe in a because the curse is something that isn't a tangible thing, right? I mean, we can't like pick it up and say, okay, here's the curse. It's a thing out there. And so, yeah, that's my thought. So it's kind of like it could be buried, but then again, kind of like that earlier question, like somebody buried it under the ground when we did our opening. And then again, there are those who say it's this. So kind of like
True.
that.
True.
But when I saw the Loch Ness monster, you said it's kind of partly buried, you said, because when
Kind
you
of
look
what?
at this card,
It's
it's
kind of
like
what?
partially
It's hard to
buried.
see.
Oh, yes.
Oh, sorry, it's partially buried. Because the
Mm-hmm.
Loch Ness, half of its body is in and out, right? But in
Mm-hmm.
here, it kind of looks like a entrance to like either a cave or an underground thing, and it has like a caretaker. So it's like kind of it. There is an opening, so it's not fully buried, right?
Yeah,
I
if
feel
it's
like
under
that's
the
kind of
sea.
interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like it could be under the sea or it could be like in a kind of like a cave, underground something that
True.
they built for it.
And it just like you said, it's ever going, and it's like what happened when the caretaker is gone, um, deceased. What now happens to it? Like it's like it's always to me. It's always like kind of simmering because it's whoever it lands in next who believes that it is they are
Mm-hmm.
fated to suffer. Is what I got.
Mm-hmm.
The fated to suffer card just now says. Um, feeling confined into a script, forced by other, and never really fought, heading towards a destination of pain. If you know the future, you forsake your choices, only with no fate. Life is free to unfold into unknown shores. It's interesting language. And then, wow, divining a search, finding a hidden source, latent information, need to dig beneath the surface. Need to dig. So I think we all collectively are picking up it. It's contained, but it feels like at any point it could be not contained.
Yeah, we hope the star says we hope it's contained.
We want it to be contained,
Yeah,
but
but I
does
just
that mean it's contained? I don't know.
is the curse really buried?
Yes. Oh, hold on. Let me see. Don't take it literally. Oh, Winds of Reflection says also they do exist in a way energetically. I feel like the curse.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. Jonathan says, I'm the person who has it locked it away because of the connection with the love story. Interesting.
Because it does relate to the wedding or the whole.
Interesting. Yes.
Yeah, well, that's right. I'm so interested to see your decks, Lila. Some issues with the video. Oh, okay. Yes.
Yeah,
So
it's
it's
just
a
fuzzed
little
up.
fuzzy.
Try
So
putting your
Oh,
hand
is
doing
it?
that thing, Lila, because
yeah,
we haven't really been able to see your cards,
yeah.
sadly.
I just
Oh,
been listening
okay.
to when you call out what it is. I'm like, oh, okay, and then I can kind of see
Can you
the.
see
She has
this
some.
one?
She has some beautiful cards, but
She does.
it's kind.
Is that a
Is
person?
it? Is it coming? No, it's like a. Do you see it
Is it a
now?
bull? It looks like a bull in a
It's like a
doorway.
bull.
Oh, you're
So it
right.
looks like a
It does look
bull.
like a
And you
bull.
see how
Is it a
that
bull?
doorway? So that's why I thought like it looks like it's going maybe like there was an underground chamber built, and maybe that's
Yes.
the guardian. There's a guardian, right? But like
It's
Yeah.
the
blurry. Yeah.
guardian is, I don't know. It is still blurry. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know.
Well,
But
I
I
know.
you
mean,
could still see it though, right?
Yes, I could see
somewhat
it's like when before I had LASIK surgery,
right about
and that's
there.
how
Yeah.
everything looked in my life.
Oh,
And so
did
I
you
just
have it?
I
managed,
don't know.
like,
Could it could be like the I don't know what's I don't know.
well, next time
But
we'll
yeah,
get it all our techie issues because we're going to be back, you all, too,
yeah.
from another
Hmm.
mystery. I'm so excited. I love this
Hmm.
Yeah,
so
this
much.
is
We want to
great.
see your decks because you got a fabulous deck collection. So we're going to be seeing your decks.
Yeah, she did.
So
Yes, we do.
so do you guys.
Jonathan Daly says, I got the Page of Cups. The person is dumping the fish in the cup into a creek. I feel like the person is releasing the curse to see what happens. Oh, gosh.
Wow.
Ooh.
That kind of goes
That's
Well,
along.
why they stay
I got
alive.
the mental health card. So maybe the curse has gotten to him mentally. So
Ooh.
because so
Wow,
there's
that's
cracks in his mental, the guardian. So maybe it is. It's like the curse is awakening and it's being pushing the person to release it. That's good.
Ooh.
That's a good one, Jonathan.
Okay.
I
So
Interesting.
the
like that
last
mental health.
oracle card I got to that was the last quarter. And the meaning to this, according to the Enigma little guide, learning how to
Uh-huh.
let go. Learning how to let go is the key phrase, which is interesting because it's like it might be attaching itself to the mental, and it keeps it alive. It keeps this person, it hasn't killed the caretaker because it's waiting to be unleashed, like be like it needs this
Well, an
caretaker.
egregore
Yes.
is a thought. Is
Oh,
a
it still needs
thought
to
that.
use him. Yeah.
Yes. Eek. Like I got the 3 of Wands, so the curse is looking for. Oh my god! I didn't even read
Oh,
this.
look at what Ravneet.
Yes, I got the 3 of Wands. So the curse is looking for its next vessel.
Oh,
Maybe, or like Jonathan said, and the Ace of Wands. So maybe next chapter. Yes.
yes.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. 3 of Wands card has a ship in the sea leaving from the port. Ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Mm.
Yes, it's pixelated. Literally, I'm telling you, that's how my vision was the entire, even with eyeglasses. I was almost legally blind. It was bad.
Oh gosh.
It was bad. But not like you're bad. Like I could make out, actually, your pixelated view is better than my eyesight was.
Oh my goodness.
I get every
I'll
now and
make
then.
sure I say the card names.
Yes, yeah. You've been great about saying the card names.
Hmm.
I know. No. Interesting that I keep getting cups. Jonathan says it's like the curse is controlling the emotions of the guardian. Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
yes, yes.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Oh, whoever gets it gets
Oh.
the curse. Whoever holds it gets the curse.
That
Inhabits
over
it.
there.
We're saying.
We don't want it. We're gonna do a cleansing.
Well, let's go to the
after this.
conclusion. Let's go to the lesson.
Yes, the next one, the lesson. Why has the story survived for centuries? Okay, so I got the 4 of Wands. And basically for me, it was like, this is an enduring tale of family, it's a creative, enduring tale, if you will. And there's something about the family ties that binds us. Did I write anything else about that? a creative story that started from a family member's betrayal. That's what I wrote. And family, and how family secrets endures for generations as a cover up of the truth. That's what I wrote. And how that resonates with us. It taps into our imagination with the Four of Wands. And that's what I got for the Four of Wands. It just taps into our imagination in ways at which that we get to add. And you see this the story, if you Google the Basano vase, and you see all the different stories. There's podcasts, there's videos, like YouTube videos, there's all sorts of stuff. And there's yes, it's like a whole trough of information. And everybody adds a little bit more, or less, or it's a different way in which how each person was affected by the curse. Like it just the story just adds on and on. So that's what I got in terms of why is it an enduring story. What did you all get?
So I got the Three of Wands. So I feel like the Three of Wands, I feel like the story keeps going because it's like ripples, of the ocean ripples. And it's like passed on through whispers and secrecy. And that's the Hermit, sorry, the Hermit card. And kind of there's like also the energy of grief, wrath, and also rage and anger that keep it going. That's what I got.
Wow.
Yeah. Basically, it's, as I said, the last three cards for me, it's like, it's alive because we keep it alive.
Mm-hmm.
This is the Fan of Saucers, okay? And this would be like the Page of Pentacles. And this card represents, what I like particularly that helped me with this was this young lady is obsessed with meeting an alien, because this is about the unexplained alien stuff, right? She's obsessed with meeting an alien. That's her desire, and she can't let it go. It kind of says to me, this is why we keep the story going. And Mildred clarified by the ear, which says people want to hear it. People are listening. People want these tales. It's like I say, they endure whether, somebody made it up a long time ago or whether it really happened. And it's like telephone, you pass it down.
Mm-hmm.
Or it's like the myths that the elders of the old days, before they wrote, they passed the information down and they kept it going, the history and all of that. So for me, that's what this represents. Like these last three cards sort of represent an enduring tale that really doesn't necessarily tell us why it happened to her. I mean, we got some of that, but more like it, it's something that we carrying with us as like a lesson or a, see what happens if you don't do such, those teaching stories. That's kind of how I see it.
It feels like human curiosity, right? Human curiosity keeps it going.
Yeah.
Yeah. It really does.
And then I pulled three cards from Tarot of the Abyss to just get the final thing on it. And I got the Tower.
Interesting.
And it was more like asking about what, did she get some kind of resolution? Did she, because I'm going back to the bride that got X'd out. And then, the Sun, which kind of says that, to me, that some things were uncovered, excuse me, or exposed, maybe to her satisfaction, because she said, I will get my revenge. And so this Tower card, and then finally, the Wheel of Fortune, which I would think I was saying, which was like the ultimate destiny. What goes around comes around. Payback is a bitch. So it's kind of like, I like to think of that's how, she got some justice for herself. she got some justice for herself in the afterlife. I mean, I'm going into the spirit aspect of it, but that's kind of what I wanted to see.
Okay. While we were discussing, I got the hierarchy card. When you got the tower card, I was like, it's
Card.
interesting. I know, right? It's got even like the keys, these little keys here.
Yeah.
Huh.
And the hierarchy card says establish belief, tradition, gradual progression, ascension, ambition, and secrets. And I feel like this story has the mix of all of that, right? It's got that enduring bit of it, of like secrets and, this story, this enduring story that, and like you said, we've gotten so far away from like, okay, well, what was the motive? Like, who did it? Why? And tell us a bit more about these other people, because really and truly, if we really were to see if there was a curse that impacted all these different people, I would personally need to pull a card, probably for each person who was allegedly
Yeah.
cursed, and see if it really was that. That goes to my wheel of fortune. Some people just reach a natural ending that, it's not curse related.
We'd have to do
And
a
I
reading
just
for each
like
person.
thinking-
Yeah.
Mhm.
I like thinking of the like the greater purpose of this story,
Yeah.
whether, like I say, it's legend, myth, or you know, you know, these things happen because we do all have agreed that these things can happen. You
Mhm.
know, I like the idea of just thinking that she got some kind of justice. I don't know what that meant, but
Mm.
that this story endures, and we
Mhm.
and we are still looking at it 7 centuries later, or however many centuries from then. You know,
Mhm.
Yeah.
I agree. I definitely agree.
10 centuries later, it's
Yeah, I know,
1500s,
right?
right?
I agree.
Now we're
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes, many, many centuries later. Yeah, I'm gonna look at the chat. And I think we could then just kind of share, like, in terms of like what we think happened to the my eyesight, to the bride, like what we think, because I think that many of our cards kind of clue us in to
Mhm.
like the proximate cause of all of this. Um,
Mhm.
it's interesting. I keep getting cups. We saw that.
Ooh,
Hello, Hershey, the
Yeah.
shadow
I
reader.
agree. Hi,
Positive
Hershey.
vibes to you. Thank you for being here.
yeah, I love
Yes,
Hershey.
I am
Mm.
scared. Hi, Hershey.
Kim is scared.
I am. It's like, ooh. I got two jumpers. The Nine of Wands shows a man protecting his family with multiple generations. That's interesting. And the Knight of
Mm.
Cups,
Interesting.
who is looking at the view seductively. I see the story being passed on for sure. An enduring tale.
Yeah.
Enduring tale.
Beautiful,
Beautiful,
Lila.
Lila. Hey, friend. This is Precious, one of our members.
Hey,
Precious. It's
Precious.
so good to see you.
Here. I
Yes,
just joined late. This is right up my alley. What a creative collaboration. Yes,
this
yes.
was fun.
This is so much fun.
This was
Like,
a lot
I'm
of
thinking
fun.
of
I
all
loved
the
it.
yeah, it's like I could think of all these different mysteries that we could take on.
How helps you
Generation.
think outside the box, the possibilities.
Yes.
Your imagination
Yes.
is, you
And to
know.
exercise, like if we're readers, like sometimes it's just really nice to see the scope of which our intuition, yeah, we're not gonna, some
Yeah.
mysteries we're not gonna be cracking, because this is from what? It's from a
Centuries.
long time ago. Like the
Started
1400s. Yeah, like,
in the 1500s. Yep.
but it can help you in your readings today. It can help you to
Mhm.
cultivate your own reading style, or what,
Yes.
your own
And
meanings.
it also says to me that it just shows you how humans we haven't changed much. There's all of this jealousy, all of this fighting over inheritance and legacy. And, I hear stories in the modern day of people going to funerals and fighting with each other because they think they're going to get the money. And, just all this kind of stuff. So it's
True.
just like, it's very interesting to me. So even back then, we were shabby, we people, you know. We were.
Yeah.
This is how I have interpreted it as somebody that was, doing that. But
Yeah, for
And there's
sure.
so many like kind of avenues we could go to. Like we could actually do like a reading on each person. It could just go and go and go, but
Right, Jonathan. Right, right. Generationally and the drama behind everything.
Thank you.
We are
Thank
some
you.
drama people, human beings.
Oh, hold on, friends. I got beverages and things coming.
Oh no!
No,
Did you
no, it's
spill?
okay. No,
Oh,
it's frozen. I make
oh,
now that it's hot, I like to freeze my water so that it
oh! My son
gets to
does
the
that.
right temperature. Like
Mm.
generationally and sparking the drama of love. That is so eloquent. I love that, Jonathan. Yes, yes, yes. And Winds of Reflection got the judgment card to that last question.
Uh,
Yeah.
I got
I
the
can-
judgment too. I think it was for the previous one or no? Yeah, for the previous one.
An
the
awakening.
lesson: Why has the story survived for centuries?
Let me see. Yes. Why has the story survived for centuries? Ooh,
Judgment.
that's a powerful card to get to such a
Mm.
question.
And
And
Lila got judgment too.
mm-hmm.
But I got it for number 7. Wait, no, or 7 or 8. Yeah,
Oh,
7.
7. Okay, so 7 is the curse really buried?
Oh, it's the
Judgment
curse really buried
for her,
for
for Lila.
judgment. Rebirth. I don't know.
Yes. Calling
I
to
don't
life
know.
again, calling
Because as
from the
long as
dead.
there's humanity,
Oh,
there's
calling
always
from
a
the
chance.
dead, calling it back from the dead, the curse.
Uh-huh.
So if it had been buried,
Yeah, calling it back
coming
from the
back to
dead.
life. I think
Yep.
Jonathan said that,
Yep. Intuitively. And then Winds of Reflection says, I got unfinished business, essentially. Like, yeah.
For which one?
I'm assuming just intuitively, like the
Oh, her
the
conclusion.
crux, like of the whole story. And
Okay.
to that end, in terms of like what I pick up on with the whole thing, I'll show you what I got for my oracle cards because I think this will
Oh,
tell me about the whole thing with the bride. Circling back to her, I got the first
ooh,
card
plot
from the
thickens.
Tea Leaf Oracle, Cat, a two-faced friend. But I was talking about a family member. I feel like it's family, but maybe it is someone.
Yeah, I mean, some
Yeah.
people are, sisters are like, they're friends. They're not just their sisters. So,
Yes. Then I got the motive is revenge. This is from my true
ooh,
crime oracle.
mm,
Revenge. Judge, law, legal, and legal system. But I'm thinking about, retribution.
who's gonna inherit?
Yeah.
Okay,
Then speaking of inheritance, privilege. That's the
privilege.
next card.
Sound like a
And
wealthy family.
in physical altercation or fights or
Ooh, they threw
discord
down.
or anger and so then the overall sense I got was a betrayal, and like it should not have been her. It felt like it should be someone else, like maybe a sister. um and like when I said earlier, over a man, like a sister who's close,
Mhm.
uh who ultimately poisoned her, and the family still needing to protect um, this information because we don't know what ended up happening with this groom. Who did he marry next?
Yeah,
What
he was
happened?
strangely silent. Any
You're right.
additional
How strange
information?
is that? Where is he?
Yes.
Did he do it?
Where-
I don't want to
Yeah,
marry this heifer. Did he do
right.
it?
Yeah, it's like I wouldn't marry him. And then I got from this deck, it's called the Haters Exposed Evil Eye Oracle cards. They constantly convince people that they are this or that. So that took me back to the privilege, the status, that element of like this
Adam
marriage is not
Bluefire.
what they wanted. Dark
Hey,
entities are
Adam.
using. Hi, Adam.
Did you see Adam? Did you
Yes,
see?
we're doing
Did you
mysteries.
see
Look,
Adam?
got the Tarot of the Unexplained in the house.
Because I did it
I
for
don't have
him.
it yet. Dark entities are using these people to work against you. So there is some dark elements, unintentional. They don't realize they are sending you the evil eye, words, actions. This is where I was starting to feel like, yes, she had set something off, and she did get her retribution. She did get her revenge on the person who betrayed her. It feels like a female to me, but over a male or over this estate or over, like, it should have been me situation. And now you're out of the way. And then possess an amulet, had it blessed with protection. And this is why I felt like, yeah, there is some element of curse activity going on. But I also feel like not every death that is associated with this vase or whoever owned it is related to this particular curse. It's what they believe, what they ingest, what they take in as their truth. But ultimately, when it was happening early on, yeah, there was some cursed activity. So that's what I got. What'd you get?
Yes.
Yeah, I believe it was a curse. I believe that, like I said, all the stuff I said, it still exists in the people with malintent who would want to do someone else in for all of the human reasons, jealousy, greed, blah, 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 blah.
Status.
And that, when you feel betrayed, whoever said it was a story of betrayal, when you feel betrayed, there's nothing like that feeling.
That's right.
We probably all have
like it. Nothing like it. How about you, Lila?
Yeah, I feel like it is a curse. And am I frozen?
Oh,
I feel like
now?
It is a curse. Oh, okay.
No, you're good.
And I feel like the patriarch knew about it. I feel like it was a woman, like you said, Kim, because I got the Queen of Wands in there, and I feel like it was a woman, and it's, it got kind of out of control, and they couldn't, but I feel like, so I do feel like this was a curse. And sorry, it's like there's so much stuff going on around my house that I like lost my
That's
space.
okay.
Oh, I was just like, I'm hearing
no
noises.
worries. Yeah, and I just and I got another card I pulled from the Dark Mirror Oracle, and I got the Triumph of Lies. And it says, if something hurts me, I change myself so it can stop. And not all that glitters is gold. Emptiness is felt when there is nothing under the dress. And when I thought dress, I was like, female energy. And it says the triumph of lies is about appearance. And appearance is always so important to the world, it reads. Day by day, it seems more important. That's probably another reason why this story endures. Can that be a lie too? Yeah.
Well, I feel my 4 of knockers and my 3 of portals told me it was a female who is, coveting what she had, or who was envious of her somehow.
Yeah.
And it might have been the future sister-in-law. It might have been her sister. I don't know.
Someone close, though.
Yes, definitely.
Jealous talk. And you know how you have, maybe not anymore as we get older, but back when you were young, that friend, at first you're like, oh, they're my friend to the end, but then you realize they're kind of constantly saying cutting things and
undercutting you, or
undermining what you're doing. And undercutting you too with the words and things like, and we just got progressively like worse and worse. And that energy. And then we got those high priestesses popping up is what I was sensing. So it's quite interesting. Hello, Adam. I'm so happy. You are a part of our inspiration, by the way, Adam.
Yes, definitely. And I always been looking for Adam. I'm like, where is he?
Yeah, Adam, where are you? Jonathan says, so many keys showing up for us all. Yeah, keys. The story of the curse is a key for our own lives and a warning of letting love go sour and becoming a curse. Yes.
Ooh, I love that. Jonathan, are you?
I love that.
You sound like a teacher. I don't know if that's what you do for a living, but that sounds very, like what a teacher would. And in conclusion, class.
Yes, in conclusion, to wrap it up.
Yes.
I love that.
Adam says, I wonder how cursed items can be uncursed or cleansed. Do we know if there's some kind of protocol or undoing of the spell? Really, for me, when I got this, that is a good question. I think Adam, you actually have posed a question and I saved it about curses in and of themselves. Can you actually eradicate them? We may have to
I
take that
think you
on
can.
for an upcoming episode, but for this curse, I feel
Yeah.
like this is about protecting of the mind, body, spirit. And it says possess an amulet and have it blessed with protection. So it may not be, it's enduring now. It feels like beyond the vase, it's just going to keep going and going. So our best defense is protection, mind, body, and spirit. Curse to me feels like stagnant energy, passing it on for generations.
Oh, Ravneet, I love that too.
That
Very
as well.
powerful.
That's really good.
Yes.
That's really it.
Yeah.
What it is, right?
That's a frozen
Mhm.
intention in time. Like I said, like an
Mhm.
egregore
And
also.
it gets weighted, and as it passed generation and generation down, those who
Mhm.
practice dark magic gives everyone within the spiritual field a bad name. The fear of spiritual tools is because of these kinds of things, for sure. For
Yeah,
sure.
that's true.
For sure.
I agree. Wow, friends, we did a thing today.
Y'all are deep.
Thank you. I'm glad you are going to subscribe. We have more for you.
Yes.
I'm so happy you were here with us today.
Thank
were
you,
hanging right
Ravneet.
there with us.
Yes.
Yes. This was so much fun,
Love
friends.
this.
I
I'm
just
so
enjoyed
glad you
your
joined.
input, Jonathan and Ravneet and Adam.
Yes.
Thank you so
Yes.
much. That was fun, like putting our heads together and, you know,
This is what's really fun. Yes. Everybody
yeah,
on here.
commiserating and learning. And yeah,
Mhm.
welcome to all the
Mhm.
new subscribers.
And don't forget to, if you all are watching this on my channel, please subscribe. I'll make sure I'm going to pin a comment when we're done to
Yeah.
have the links. You just go right on to the link and subscribe to
Yeah, come over
Theater
here.
Soul
Yeah, I haven't seen
Whisper.
you, Adam. Come on over.
Yeah,
And
come
to Miss
on over.
Lila's Tapestry of the Unseen. Go to
Because
Tapestry.
we'll be going to each other's channels.
Yeah.
To
The
do
next
this.
one will
So,
probably be on Lila's channel.
okay.
So,
Yeah.
or
So we'll
mine.
be
I don't
having
know
a
which. We
party
don't know
over
which
there.
one yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we'll be doing
So
this
we'll be
again.
rotating.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll be
Host.
doing an episode on each of our channels. It'll be an ongoing series. So it'll be a lot of fun if you guys join with us.
It really
for
will.
every mystery.
Yeah.
For sure. Every mystery. And don't forget to suggest some too, because we want to see y'all's take on it. But poor bride, may she find
Yeah. Yes. That's like, ooh, betrayed. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Yeah, the
Such a bad
ultimate
feeling.
betrayal. Not a jilted lover who was sad, but something even closer.
Mm-hmm.
Family, blood,
Betrayed.
bloodline. So thank you
Yes.
to all of you who joined us today. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you to my fellow co-hostesses.
Thank you, Miss Kim, for hosting and being the hostess with the mostest.
Yes.
And
Thank you.
not
And
afraid
thank
to
you
show
for-
this.
Y'all carrying on the show as I had tech issues. I had to go and reboot and everything twice.
We all did. I mean, Lila just blurred it. We were all
We all
fine.
did.
And then suddenly she blurred up and we couldn't see her pretty face. You know,
I think it's all this
And I
power.
wasn't able to join the chat either.
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, it's like, okay, the curse, or is it the curse? Did the curse follow us?
Maybe it's the power of three, right? The power of
that
three.
too. 3 is very powerful.
Lori
3 for
Vallow.
emphasis.
I'll have to. And Adam, let me know too what if there's a particular case of Lori Vallow is tied into so many different bits of mess.
I don't know who that is. Who is
Oh
that?
God! I watched the documentary. I've been loosely following, so that would be interesting. I would love to know the aspect of how you want me to approach it. Doing the readings, Adam, but I would be interested in exploring. I know a lot of people have probably done readings on them, on Lori's story. So
Mhm.
let me know what angle you want me to look at it, or the lens at which you want me to look. All right, friends, you all have a good rest of your day, morning, noon, night, and we will see you all in the
And-
next Tarot Underground meetup.
Yeah, next time we'll have
Yes.
music. Dun, 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 dun.
Maybe we do it. I'll darken it in here, make it like a cave. And hopefully it won't be too hot.
Yes.
Bye, friends.
All right. Bye bye,
Bye,
ladies.
friends.
Bye bye, guests. Thank you so much for
Bye bye,
everything.
everybody.
Bye.
Ciao, Bella.